Hi there. This is an instructional video on how to use the discipline and intervention system that your school obtained. And the system is a very easy system. It has been written. The application has been written specifically with having teachers in mind. I want to jump in immediately and go to actions. Of course, when you first start the video, or no, when you first start the application, you will have to fill in your password and whatever is necessary, and then you will come to this main screen here. But let us jump directly into one of the first things that you're going to do on a daily basis, and that is recording the transgressions of your learners. So we start by going into actions, clicking on it, and then we have our day interventions. This is where we are going to record all the transgressions of your learners on a daily basis. Now, I don't know how your school operates currently on what is the best practice for you at your school to obtain this information from the teachers. What we have at our school is that we've got a discipline WhatsApp group, and the teachers record in the classroom, then they just record the transgression of the learner, post it on there, and from there it is entered into the system here. Now, of course, the reason for this is that you can build up a record of the transgressions of a learner, so that when that learner's parents are eventually called in, or there's a disciplinary hearing, then at least you have in front of you, or you can print out and have in front of you a record of the transgressions of that particular learner. And that will, of course, help you to address the problem with the learner and have a mirror for the learner in which you can see his behavior. Now, when you receive this application, all the names of your school, the learners and the teachers have already been entered, as well as a few transgressions. But I'm going to show you how to enter more transgressions in it, and how to enter more interventions. But when you click on the actions, this is what you are confronted with. It is this page here. Now, right through the application, you will note that where you have to search, the boxes are all yellow colored. And where you have to enter information, that is all in green boxes. And then you will see submit buttons are always this green button, there's view buttons, and there is a search button, and they are all similar right through the application. So once you get acquainted by using the one form or the one page of the application, it is very easy to do the rest of it. I think on this page and the hearing page will be probably the most information that you will need to fill in. Okay, good. So you have now received from your WhatsApp group, or from, I don't know, pieces of paper, whatever you are using at your school, a learner transgressed now, and the information lands here by you. So what do we do now? What is a very good practice is to click on this view button here first of all, because that will give you the last 20 records that has been entered into the system. And this is also something that makes it very easy to operate the application. All these headers here, if you click on it, then it will sort the whole of this table for you. So if I click on the date, then it will show me either from the last to the first, or the first to the last. But you can click on here, and here you can see the last entry was the 5th of April 2023. Now, and it was gambling, strictly reprimanded, and there's some notes here. This is a demo database that I'm using here. It's not a real database. It is a demo of that I use when I do demonstrations at schools to show them how to use it. So please, if you see your name or the name of any learner that you know, please, this is just to show you what is in the database. Okay, so without it, I won't be able to do this instructional video without this demo database. Okay, great. So if you click on here, then it will sort for me the names from as you can see here, the last 20, it will be sorted also in alphabetical order, and you can click on any of this. But this is for me very nice because this just prevents that you don't duplicate and put in an entry that has already been entered into the system. So what I do is I can click on here and then search by surname. If you have the CMIS number of the learner, well, great for you. Then you can just type it in. Usually I don't have it, so I just type in A if the person is Abrams or whoever, and then I will select the learner from this list here. Of course, the more letters I type in here in the search surname, the more it will filter the names of the learners in the school. Let us just look at J.T. Abrams. Oh, let me just show you something else as well. I can also select by class, and if I click on here 8A, then it is all the learners of 8A that is called up, which makes it much more easier to also filter the learners. Let us look at the first person on here, Lino Abrams. And if I want to know what are the previous transgressions of this learner, I can just click on search, and there's all his transgressions, and I can see here that there are 21 records already against his name. This will alert me if your school decides that 10 is enough or 15 is enough, then you are alerted immediately when you click on search, and you can see how many entries there already are. And of course, I can print out this list here. That is here on the right hand side. I can also click on view, which is just a shortcut to this view here. So I won't go into it now because I will do that later during this video. Now, what I do is I can also do a bulk enter. What does that mean? It's the whole of the grade 8s. Grade 8, I call first the class, and then there were a number of guys that bunked together, learners that bunked together. Now I can select that learners who bunked, as you can see here. And once I have selected them, whatever I'm going to enter in here will be against all the names. So I don't need to go do it one by one if it is a group that misbehaved. And then I go here to transgressions, and I'm going to select the transgression. Now, the list that you will see will probably have only 3 or 4 transgressions in here. I'm going to show you now how to fill in those transgressions. And then I have here, so I can select the transgression. If I say bunking, that is the level and the weight of this transgression. Of course, your school will decide on what weight they will give to a certain transgression. At some schools, they also have this, they use the point system. If a learner has 20 points, then it means he will be referred to the grade head, 30 points to the deputy principal, and 40 points to the disciplinary committee, and so on and so on and so on and so on. So these weights will then be added to the learner's collective weight of his transgressions. And here we have intervention. So if there's a transgression, of course there must be an intervention as well. Strictly reprimanded, we're going to call in his parents or whatever. I'm just going to say we're going to put this guy on detention. And here we have all your teachers. And as I've said at the beginning, that this will be preloaded into the system. You don't need to go and type out the teachers. So let us just say that Mr. Ayman sent this message, and during what period it happened, the second period, and then I have to type in a note. Okay, so I'm just going to say a demo video for this transgression. That's why I recorded it against the name of the learner. Now I must select the learner first here, otherwise the system won't allow me to enter this. So let us just search here by name. I'm just going to take the second guy. Maybe he's got only 3 transgressions. And remember, I've typed in here demo video. I'm going to submit it now. And there it says new action successfully added. And you can see how easy it is. It takes you literally seconds to record this. It is so easy to do this recording that we have trained of the helpers, teacher assistants at our school. We've trained one of them to use it, and they are doing it on a daily basis at our school, so that and it just become easier for us, because we can just call on this person and ask him, please give us a printout of this or that learner, and then he will do it for us. That's why if I click now on search of this learner here, I think it was the second, I don't know which one it was now. Yes, there it is, and there you can see its demo video. It is this guy here that we recorded against, and there it is available now. Now let me just sort out this transgression and interventions. I just want to show you. So you go to edit here, and I want to show you now to add a transgression. This is all the transgressions that is currently listed here by us, but you can go and add your own transgressions. If and I've said that the application is ported with only 3 or 4 transgressions in the database. So I can type out here my own transgression. I'm not going to do it now. I don't want to spoil the database too much. And here is that weight, the points that you want to allocate to a certain transgression. As I've said, you can rethink and then you can do it at your school, and you can decide the weightage that you want to add to a certain transgression. And of course, all schools do have a certain level, a level 1 transgression and a level 2 and a level 3. And this you choose here, what level will this new transgression be. And then all that you do is you just click submit, and then it is in. Same here with, as I've said, that once you can do one of these forms, then you can do all of it. So here's your intervention, and this is the interventions here, same one. And you can add a weight to that as well, and then you can just click submit. That means that if bunking is 3 points against the learner and he came up for detention, he attended detention, then he will get a weight of 2. This will be subtracted from the transgression, and he will have a net of 1 point. And of course, as I've said, you at the school can decide how you want to apply this point system. So even if you add another teacher, it is the same procedure. I add the name of the teacher, his personal number. I click on the status, active or inactive. I'm going to speak about this later on, but all the teachers should be active, and you can see here. But if a teacher leaves the school, then you can make that teacher inactive, and his name won't pop up again. Because if you're going to use the system for a couple of years, then you will find that this list is going to get extremely long when you call it here by actions or whatever. And but the applications be written that it only calls active teachers when you record an action. Okay, but as you can see, green is where you fill in, and you have this table here where you can just check on it. And of course, you can search for a teacher here by just clicking in the teacher's surname, and here you can see the 2 teachers here. Okay, let us go a little bit further. I want to go to hearings. Good. And here you can have 2 types of hearings, and you can record it. Most of the schools do have the application on a laptop, so you can carry it to the room where the hearing will take place, and then you can record it in real time. So you basically get 2 types of hearings: a school hearing, that's an internal one, and then of course your hearing with your SGB when the learner has been referred to the SGB. And if I click on here, then I must again search the learner's name. Now, if I did not select the learner and only this, and I want to print it out, the program, the application is going to show you an error. You must select a learner. That is everywhere where there's a selection of a learner that needs to be done. You have to do that, otherwise you're going to land not into problems. It is just that the app might freeze. I don't know, it depends on the type of computer that you have. Okay, but here again, you can search by surname, you can search by the CMIS number, and you can search again by class. Okay, and if you have your learners' parents' information in, then automatically the parent's name and information will appear here, because you sometimes need this when you have a disciplinary hearing. If you don't have it, then you can quickly click on add and edit parent, and then it will bring you to this very same page here where you have the parent, but this is just a quick way of you to enter the parent's name in, so that it doesn't take time, too much time to do it. Select the transgression again. So I can say here it is use of, I don't know if that is worth a school hearing here in the Cape, and of course it will be, it will fill in automatically the weight, and then again the intervention, and then the accusation is this or that has happened. You must have, of course, this. And then the plea of the learner, did the learner plead guilty or not guilty? This is all preloaded into it. And then your representative, there is a number of representatives filled in. Of course, you can go here to edit again and then go to representative. Where is it now? But anyhow, you can check it out here, and you can add your representative, the parent, the official, sorry, there's the representative. You may update officials, and here we have the representative. So you can enter a new representative there if it is not part of that list, because you must just select. Oh yes, and I've had cases where I came to a school that has used the program, the application, and then I see that they have here 10 times mother in, 10 times grandfather in, because they thought that they must every time add the person. No, you just add in it once in the edit, and then you just select here. Okay, so this is just a selector. And then the decision, the outcome, and then you can make your notes as the case progresses. The members and the capacity must, of course, be in, especially if you have an SGB hearing, because this information here is very important when you fill in your annexures, annexure A, B, C, and D. That is when you want to apply for expulsion by the department. Then all this stuff must be in, must be available, must be in the proper order. And once you have this hearing, of course, you would like to see what other transgressions is against this learner. It's vital information for your hearing, so you don't need to go and print or search for it. You can just select it here. These are all the discipline, the day interventions of this particular learner. And if the learner has been in a previous hearing, I can click on here and say search, and you will see there's no entries to report for this particular learner. Good. So I think this is easy to understand. Good. Let's move to the next section. I want to go to let us just go to the views. Okay, good. Views. This is the power of the system. I can here search for any learner at the school. In A, and all the learners with the surname of A will be shown in this group here. But you can see you can click on here again, and it will sort it for you alphabetically by surname or by transgression or whatever you want to search it by. Let us just go to this guy here, Nathan Abrams. I'm going to click in the CMIS number cell. I'm going to say Control C, the normal Control C, and here by CMIS number, I'm going to say Control V. Okay, and then I'm going to say search, and there's all Nathan's transgressions, and there's 37 reports against this name. Now I can just say print, and it will, of course, it will print it in a nice, and whenever you print these type of reports, please select landscape. Select landscape. I repeat it now twice, because on the Potere, it won't show all the columns, and you might have difficulty in reading it. Now I want to bring you to this part here at the bottom of the views. Let me just, the main thing is, You might click on this stuff and nothing will happen because it is important that you search between dates. And you can search between 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. You select the time period in which you want to see certain information. Now, if I click on here, transgressions, and I say, let me just choose anyone. Bunking, there's such a lot of bunking happening at our school that it might take chance. You will see all the transgressions is here, without books, disruptive, and whatever. And here comes up all the bunkers. That is all the bunkers. Let me just show you something else. The power of this program. We once had our somebody that came to the school and said that she would like to speak to the school about smoking of dagga. And so we said to her, no, man, it's not all the learners that that smokes dagga at our school or at home. Don't you want to speak rather to those dagga smokers at our school? And she said, but how are you going to know? We said, just hang on a second, we're going to show you now. So we click on here, smoking of dagga, and there we have all our dagga smokers. That is 21 of them. And we called them to, not even to the hall, but to a classroom that was available. And then she could speak in depth to that 21 learners who has been caught smoking dagga, and maybe they could give her some more names. But we did not need to disrupt the whole of the school for something like that. And so you can do with any transgression. If you can get in, if there's bullying at your school, and then you can just call out all the bullying. And these learners, there's 7 of them at the school, they can get intensive monitoring or whatever. We can consult with them. We can call in somebody to help with the consultation. Okay, so, and the same we can do with detention. We can check out who was put on detention for this period here, and we can print it out. We can do many things. The class teacher of 8A might call on and say, listen, I would like to know what is my class records. And then I can call it out, all the 8As. There's all the 8As. I can click it nicely in alphabetical order. And then I can print it out for this teacher. There's 521 reports already. Of course, you might say, but wow, 521. No problem. If you filter the search here to maybe for a month or for a term or whatever, I just took it now from 2022, June 2022 till April 2023. I'm sorry. So you can limit your period of search here, and then it will, of course, the amount of reports in that period will be less, hopefully so. Then your grade head might call and say, oh, man, I'm the grade head of grade 8. Give me all the transgressions for last month, for instance. And then I can just type in here grade 8, and it will call out all that grade 8s for that particular period that I have selected. I can do some interesting stuff, like I can say grade plus the transgression. So I can say bully for grade 8, and I can click on here, and it will call out all the bullies in grade 8. Unfortunately, there's no bullies here, but I can get that combination for certain learners. And then, of course, I can do the same with my grade and an intervention. I can say I would like to have people with more than 1 or 2 transgressions. Then I type in here the number, and then I just say all or more than, and more than 10 transgressions or more than 20 transgressions, and those learners will be called out. Okay, so that is that here. Let's go a little bit further with the views. Here we have the point system. Again, I must select between dates. If I don't do that, it will give me nothing. And then I will wonder what I have done. I didn't select my dates. It's simple as that. And if I click now here, all points above this, and I say, I can click on all the points between dates. Okay, let's just do this. This is all the points between dates. And if I say this here, then there pops up some more stuff here. Now, this is the learners, and all the learners with more than one transgression point. So if I click on the total column here, it will sort it for me. And here I have, for this period of time that I've selected, the learner with the most transgressions, 20, 20, and up to the learner with the least transgressions. So, and I can print out whatever I want to of these by just making a selection here at the bottom. Let me just go to another one, specialized reports. Again, I must select my dates. Let me just go in here and I say all the transgressions between these dates. And now if I click on here, I see what is the most problematic transgression at our school. Disruptive in class, bunking, late arrival, or whatever it might be. I can go to interventions, of course, the same thing between that period. And here we can see refer to graded is what is most commonly done at our school, at this school. Then I can say, click on grade. And here we have the grades with the most transgressions. I went to one school and they said, by your school also 9C. Yes, sir, it is so. And I can click on here and then I have the least to the best behaved, or the class that reported the least amount of transgressions to the best. In one term, at our school, there was 10A. Don't see them on here now. But they had, for that specific term, was it a month, they had 0 transgressions reported. So we designed a little certificate and we gave it to them, nicely framed, and they hung it up in the class and they were so proud of that. And we are making it now a floating trophy, or a floating certificate that will be handed over to the class with the best behavior. We actually make a new certificate every time for the new class. Just as I'm talking now, I think that we must design or have a trophy designed and have it as a floating trophy, just to encourage the learners to do better. There were some other ideas. People said, man, go to Burger King or Kentucky and ask them for a burger or whatever for the class and give it to them. That they can just feel proud of the achievement of having no transgressions, and maybe it will inspire other classes as well to improve their transgressions. So this is a very, very nice thing to do at your school. Okay, and of course this great thing is it's very nice to get that information. Of course, teachers, reports in by teachers, and here we see Mrs. Miller, but these are grades. But once we come down, then we see that this is normal teachers. And you can see that some teachers report a massive amount of transgressions. Maybe the principal should ask this teacher what is the reason for it. Sometimes it is young teachers, and maybe then they need some extra assistance to help them keeping good discipline in their class. Okay, so I'm not going to show the institutions because the institutions are the places that we refer learners to, and I don't think that there has been any referral to any institution. We've no date is selected in any case here. Anyhow, so and we don't have any institutions that we have referred to yet. But here you can also check on how many learners were sent to whatever institutions you have at your school. Okay, this is multiple transgressions. You can play around with this. We have 2 or 3 categories and you can just check it out. This was just for fun that it has been added to the application. Okay, so let us go now to another section. We've done all the views. Let me just go to other actions quickly. This is where we change the status of teachers. You can just call all the teachers here. And if this teacher leaves us, Mr. Book, we unfortunately had the unfortunate event at our school where one of our teachers passed away. So we just changed her status from active to inactive. So wherever we, when you go to actions here and you call the intervention and you click on this here, then that person's name won't appear here. As I've said, this list can become extremely long as years progress and new teachers comes in all the time. So that's a very handy function that you have there. And of course, the end of the year, then you have to migrate learners from one grade to the other. They've passed. It is very easily done. You just select grade 8. I usually first start with the grade 12s. And then here in my grade, add grade, I create a grade. Let me just show it to you. If I view here, then I have all my grades. And here at the bottom, I would enter, let me just show it to you. I enter a grade 2022. The status is active. And then I submit it. New grade successfully added. And when I come now to other actions, then I select this. Currently the learners are in 12, say for instance 12F, and you've seen then the new grade is now 2022. So I exit them out of the school into 2022. And then next year I will of course have a new grade 2023, and I will exit them into here because the system does not allow you to delete learners from the system. Unfortunately, the records will remain there, but you basically archive them into this grade that we have here. And of course, once you have migrated all the 12Fs over, so you can view the 12Fs and you can select all of them, and then you just say submit, and it will enter them into that grade. And once they are empty, then you can start with the grade 11As and move them to the new 12A, which will now be empty because that learners will have been removed from it. And then you can go to the 11Bs and whatever. And once you have selected, say for instance now 11A, and there they are, and you select all of them, you can click on it and have them all selected. And then the learners who did not progress, you can just deselect them. That is all, and then just move the rest over. Or if they went to a different class, not 12A but 12B, then you can just deselect them here and go back to 11A, because once you have migrated these learners to 12A, then in the remaining learners in 11A will be those that you did not tick off, and then you can move them to the different to the other grades, or you can move them into a different grade 11 class. So yeah, so that is how you do your migration. I've been asked this many times, what happens at the end of the year. Okay, great. Now let us go to the other interesting feature of this application. Sorry about that. Now here we have a number of documents that can be printed. The information has been preloaded into the system, so you don't need, it makes it just easier for you. I'll show you now. But we do have here the normal intervention letter. That is when you want to call a learner's parents into the school, and learner must come and see specific teacher at a specific time or whatever, then you can just print out the letter. The second is the second 4 documents is the documents that you will need to complete if you want to apply for expulsion. Now remember, department don't have an issue expelling learners if they are really troublesome. But the prerequisite is that the documentation must be properly done. And this system helps you, this application helps you to complete the documents and to have it properly done, so that your application for expulsion does not fail. And then another school, okay, I'm going to name the school, Spynroot High School in Mitchells Plain, asked me, can't you please put also the examination irregularity report in? And that I have done. So, and that's also the reason why I'm making now another or this new instruction video. Let us just go to intervention letter. Search again by surname, J.T. Abrams. Let us just select him. Okay, transgression of JT was bunking. Maybe there's a cell phone use, and there's nothing more than that. So if I select here to seriously engage with your learner, I can select that. Okay, but look what happens when I say contact the school, then this pops up. So now it says there to contact the school, the grade head or the educator on this day and that time. So you have that you need to fill in. Your child has been placed on detention, date and time. Your child has to appear before this, and so on and so on and so on. Now let us just look at this one here. I'm going to go to the page setup. I'm going to select A4, say OK, and I go to the preview. I'm not going to print it. I'm just going to show you the preview of it. And there you will see the school's name has already been put in, and the address, intervention letter. There pops up the name of the learner and the surname. Your child has been reprimanded today, and the charge against it is as follows, and there's the charges. You're kindly informed that your child has been placed on detention on the 22nd of April. Whatever, if you do not comply, your child's case will be referred to the disciplinary committee of the school governing body. Expulsion can then follow, and it's just the learner signs, the educator sign, and whatever. And now I can print it out, and it will go to whatever printer you have connected to your system. That is the notification of an intervention, is the intervention letter. Let us go to the Annexure A. Okay, so I have here, let us first select the learner. Remember, you must select the learner. So let us select JT Abrams, and we say Mr. Abrams or Mrs. Abrams. You can type it in. The house number, number 1, Unity Drive, and the village is Somerset West, Somerset West. Okay, and the date of the hearing, I can put it in here. Maybe it's the 24th April. Let's write it properly. April 2023. The place of the hearing, I have it here, staff room of whatever the school is, and the accusation, repeated offenses. You can type in whatever you want to here, and that is it. That is now Annexure A, the official document of the department. Now let us look at the page setup again. I'm going to select A4. Okay, I go to the print preview. You're going to print it out, and here you will see all the information is already preloaded into it. That is the notification, Annexure A, extract out of the act or regulation that governs this, notice of the disciplinary hearing in accordance with Regulation 5, and whatever you that have already done this in the past will know the structure of this letter. But everything is then done for you. You print it out, and you print page 2, and page 2 will basically be the place where the people is going to sign. So you print both out, and there you have it. Let us just do Annexure B is basically the same. You can see it almost looks similar. You put in the information, and then you go to your page setup, and you print preview, and you have it in. Oh my goodness me. Okay, and then we have Annexure D, which is a pretty long document, and you can fill it in here, and here at the bottom you have your different pages and everything. It is just click of the button to fill this in, and you know what long document this can be, and but this application makes it just much more easy for you. I'm not going to fill it in now. It will take too much time, and it will make this video just unnecessarily longer. So, but as you can see, it's much easier to do. Let me just go to this last examination irregularity report. Of course, again, I must search for the learner, and then I can select the irregularity, and there it is. And of course, if you don't see one in here, you go to edit, and here we have our exam irregularity, and you can add in the irregularities there. The name of the invigilator, there is it. And if the invigilator is not a teacher, then you type in the name of the person there. The subject, that is all the subjects at your school. And again, if you don't have the subjects in, then you can just add it here somewhere. You can add it, there's a subject, you can just add it in. Assessment type, March control test, June exam, and again, you go to edit if it isn't in there. The time, brief description, consequences of it, and then, of course, you want to print it. And very important is also, did this learner, are there any other times that he has been caught with irregularities during an SPA? Then you can just search for it here, and you can print that list out as well. We just show you this one. I go to print. I'm going to go now and I print it as a PDF. Print the document. I must give it a name. Let me just give it the name demo. I'm going to say save. And if I go now and I go to demo print, here it is on my desktop, then you will see there's a school. The name of the, I didn't select the invigilator, but here's all the stuff. It's pre-printed, pre-designed, and you just need to sign. And it's as easy. Sign, and it's as easy as that. Okay, so I don't think there's anything more, but if you have any other troubles, please do not hesitate to email me. The school should have the email address, or you can send me a WhatsApp, and I will be of assistance to help you. I thank you for watching. I don't think there's anything more that I can show you here. So thank you for watching, and you have a great time in teaching, and I hope and pray that this system, and I must state this, that it has developed over a period of time due to the inputs of various teachers that asked, can't we have this into the system, and can't we have that in, and this is the system that we have here. Thank you very much. Bye.